Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
In this part of the world, not far from a tropical place, there is a very annoying problem. It is called the matrimonial gadfly. It is more annoying than gnats, mosquitoes, fleas, or scorpions. No one has found a way to stop it. The gadfly does not sting you right away. It starts by buzzing around your ears, and at first, you don't even know what it is. One day, Caroline suddenly says, "Madame Descartes wore a beautiful dress yesterday." "She has good taste," says Adolphe, even though he does not really think so. "Her husband bought it for her," says Caroline, shrugging her shoulders. "Oh!" "Yes, it was a dress that cost 400 francs. It's made of the best velvet." "For 100 francs," says Adolphe, looking very surprised. "But it also has extra fabric and enough material for a high waist." "Monsieur Descartes is very generous," says Adolphe, trying to make a joke. "Not all men are so kind to their wives," says Caroline sharply. "What do you mean by kind?" "Adolphe, I mean thinking about extra fabric and making the dress useful again when it can't be worn in the same way anymore." Adolphe thinks to himself, Caroline wants a new dress. Poor Adolphe. Later, Monsieur Descartes buys new furniture for his wife's room. He also gets her diamonds fixed in the latest style. Monsieur Descartes always goes out with his wife, and he never lets her go out without him offering his arm. Whenever Adolphe brings something for Caroline, she says it is not as nice as what Monsieur Descartes does. If Adolphe talks or acts a little differently, Caroline quickly says, "You wouldn't see Monsieur Descartes acting like this. Why can't you be more like him?" In short, this silly Monsieur Descartes is always brought up in your home. The phrase, "Do you think Monsieur Descartes would ever do that?" becomes like a sharp pin. Caroline uses it to poke at Adolphe's feelings. She keeps doing this in clever ways, saying sweet words and acting nicely while still making her point. Adolphe feels so stung by these words that he decides to fight back in his own way. Like someone planning a strategy, he starts paying attention to Madame de Fishtamanal. She is still young, pretty, and a little flirty. Adolphe uses her to annoy Caroline, which is something he had been thinking about for a while. To those of you who often say, "I don't know why my wife is upset," this part of the story explains women well. But even with this explanation, it is still hard to truly understand women. They often don't even understand themselves. Caroline has no problem saying things that hurt Adolphe all the time. But if Adolphe tries to tease her, he is seen as mean or cruel. Caroline, however, thinks her teasing is just a joke and a fun way to make their life more exciting. She believes her intentions are good. But if Adolphe does something similar, it feels like a big insult to her. One day, Caroline asks, "So, are you really in love with Madame de Fishtamanal? What do you find so special about her behavior or her personality?" "Why, Caroline," Adolphe starts to say. "Oh, Don't try to deny your strange taste. Caroline interrupts, stopping Adolphe from speaking. I know you have liked that tall, thin woman, Madame de Fishtamanal, for a long time. Fine. Go ahead. You will soon see what happens. Do you see what is happening? Caroline does not care at all about Monsieur Descars, who is short, fat, red-faced, and used to be a lawyer. But she is angry because Adolphe likes Madame de Fishtamanal. Caroline, who used to be simple and innocent, now acts very clever and sharp. Now, Adolphe feels like he has two annoying gadflies instead of one. The next day, Caroline asks Adolphe with a sweet smile, "How are things going with Madame de Fishtamanal?" When Adolphe leaves the house, she says, "Go and have something calming to drink, dear." When women feel upset about a rival, they can use anything they find as a weapon to attack. Even the nicest women will say sharp words or do something to hurt you. If Adolphe tries to tell Caroline that she is wrong and that he doesn't care about Madame de Fishtamanal, it will only make things worse. This is a mistake no smart man would make because it will take away all his power. Oh, Adolphe, you have now reached what people call the Indian summer of marriage. Now, you must work hard to win Caroline's love again. You have to hold her close, be the best husband, and guess what will make her happy. You need to follow her wishes instead of your own. This is your life now.